This is Andre Ward, and you're watching Dontaesboxingnation.
Jackson, I tell you what, you're watching Dontaesboxingnation.
Dontaesboxingnation.
Dontaesboxingnation. And you're watching Dontaesboxingnation.
This is Dante Williams, and you're watching Dontaesboxingnation.
Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? You know, now that Golden Boy's Oscar De La Hoya and Top Rank's Bob Arum are willing to work with each other now, there are a lot of great fights that can be made. And Keith Thurman is already talking about one of them, which is Thurman versus Bradley. Now, what's so ironic about this news that Thurman is interested in fighting against Tim Bradley, this is what the headline read, by the way. Basically, the article I read, the headline read, Thurman would love statement KO win over Tim Bradley. What's so ironic about this whole article and Keith Thurman's interest in fighting Tim Bradley is, for those of you guys who have been following my channel and subscribed to me, you already know I did a video a while back where I came up with a tournament bracket for the welterweight division, right? And in that tournament bracket, I had Keith Thurman facing Tim Bradley. How ironic is that? What a coincidence, right? So it just, it goes to show you that, we're on the right track as far as, fans that want to see the relevant fights that make the most sense. Okay? So anyway, quoting what what Keith Thurman said, when asked about fighting someone like Tim Bradley, he said, quote, definitely. Tim Bradley is a big name. He's been around, and I would be able to make a big statement with getting a victory, and especially a KO victory over Tim Bradley. This is what Keith Thurman had to say. Now, the great thing about this situation is the feelings would most likely be mutual when it comes to both fighters being interested in making this fight. Both of these fighters are the type of hungry fighters that love to prove something. They love to try to prove that they're the best. This is how I see Keith Thurman, and this is how I see Tim Bradley, okay? And this would also be a coming out party for Keith Thurman, especially if he could beat someone like Tim Bradley. This is the type of opponent that he needs to face. Because if he was able to beat a Tim Bradley, and especially if he knocked him out like Keith Thurman is aspiring to do, this would create a super fight for the likes of Floyd Mayweather. And you notice I don't say Manny Pacquiao because I don't believe Manny Pacquiao would ever be crazy enough to get in a ring with a young, strong, talented welterweight like Keith Thurman. This is the reason why Manny Pacquiao is fighting against a junior welterweight in his next fight. And speaking of that, Keith Thurman, he actually also talked about Manny Pacquiao. And he agrees with me. He doesn't believe that Manny Pacquiao would ever take a fight against him, okay? So I believe that Mayweather, at least there's a better chance of Keith Thurman fighting Mayweather than fighting Manny Pacquiao, okay? Considering the fact that Mayweather doesn't get upset by someone because, once again, this is the year of the upsets. We've had a lot of upsets this year, okay? So, Keith Thurman is going in the right direction. He's trying to get the fights that make the most sense, that would make him the most relevant or one of the most relevant fighters in the division. So, this is just talks, of course, but this is what Keith Thurman wants. And I'm assuming that Tim Bradley wouldn't mind a fight like this either. Eventually I'll try to get a hold of Tim Bradley and see what he thinks, or even Joel Diaz and see what they think about a fight like that. But, that's pretty much all I got, guys. I'm on to the next one.